excited to share my insights today. This is all the sort of custom research I've done, like Jen mentioned, and so I've got a nice presentation for you, and let's dive right in. And of course, I'll have time at the end to answer your questions. So I'm sure Jen has given you the rundown of the sort of how to do that, but obviously we'll address all those questions as we go. So yeah, nice expletive in the title, but all the shit you don't know about astrology. And we have some, five sections to cover today. We'll start off with just some introductory, framework, because I know many of you are coming at this from different levels, and just know that you don't have to know everything. Obviously, you don't have to. I guess I'm covering these sort of, again, extra terrain with astrology today. But even if you're unfamiliar with some of the basics, I will take the time to delineate that today, but also dive deep into, again, these outer reaches of the field that are either overlooked or uninvestigated so far by other astrologers. And I think every astrologer has a secret sauce or something that, sort of excites them, ignites their passion for the field. But I'll be sharing that with you today. So yeah, I'm going to introduce myself and a bit about astrology right away. And then you've probably heard about the birth chart, which is a snapshot in time of you coming into the world. And it really speaks to your personality traits. But I'm reframing it around sort of the ancestral perspective. And we're going to kind of go through that subject as deeply as we can. And then we're going to springboard into a section at the end, which is really, I think, the most exciting part. So stick around for the end, which is the case studies that stem partly from my research on family and ancestry and past lives, but also some other sort of tidbits and nuggets of info that I've discovered along the way, which go beyond even some of the family-related research. But again, why I'm excited to present this today is because it's not really something you're going to find in a textbook, at least to this extent. And what I really value about this conference is that we're all kind of doing our own breakthrough research. And so I'm really humbled to be able to share that with you today from the astrological lens. But I want to just discuss my life. Why am I who I am? So I was born in St. Paul, and I was on the line between St. Paul and Minneapolis. But anyways, I grew up in the Twin Cities. This is me in my rebellious phase, 2001, 2000 maybe. Arrest me, I'm a skateboarder is what the shirt says. There's a sort of a haphazard skateboard ramp in the back. Wow, some cars there that really probably are hopefully not on the road anymore. But this is, I've always been like kind of a bit of a radical, didn't really want to do things the traditional way. Case in point, that shirt. But, I did go through the university system for better or worse, I think for better. But went to Northwestern University in Chicago. So shout out to any Wildcats or anyone who lives in Chicago. Although Evanston is slightly different than Chicago, but at least you could see it from Lake Michigan here. So I went to college, was a philosophy major, but I also played music. Like Jen said, music is a it's a big passion of mine. And so, cut my teeth doing that, and then followed my friends to New York, and ended up living in Manhattan for a long time, about 7 years, doing a lot of data analysis, digital strategy, and did some nice, fun presentations that, in retrospect, probably not as fun as astrology, but, talking about how to optimize email marketing, digital advertising, et cetera, for like luxury brands, fashion brands. And it was paying the bills, but I didn't really find it to be like, that was clearly not going to be my end goal. And so I had a what the fuck moment, which for me was getting a concussion at a nightclub in the East Village called Pyramid Club. And that symbolism is very significant, obviously, and serendipitous. So it basically, awakened my third eye. I got hit right on the back of the head, freak accident, bumped heads with a friend, and probably did something to the pineal gland. And shortly thereafter, a few days later, I bought a labradorite crystal that I, again, had no intention of buying. This whole thing steered me into more of a spiritual space. I even bleached my hair. So it's unclear if I was entirely coherent at that time. But it got me to a place where suddenly I was cracking codes that were really legitimate. I was starting to understand there are patterns in the world and in nature. And so that led me